All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the end. The end is nigh. We've got about 28 and a half hours before the final kickoff of the season for the Seahawks. Whether or not we win or lose, our ultimate fate has already been determined. We're going to be watching these playoffs from our couches at home. And because of that, it's hard to really know what to expect. Now, that was the case last week, but we got to play a Detroit Lions team with even less reason to want to win that game than us, playing a lot of backups on a team that was already really bad. So this week, we play a team that actually has something to play for. They have a lot to play for potentially. Winning this game could give them the division crown in a home playoff game, and they're not going to know if their fate has already been determined until our game is mostly accounted for. So I fully expect Arizona to go out there and give everything they got to try to get this win, try to make sure that they get at least one game at home in the playoffs, and that being the case, it's hard to imagine that much good happening for the Seahawks. Whatever you want to say about the talent that is on the field, whatever you want to say about the players, the coaches, just the fact that the Arizona Cardinals have a lot to play for and we have nothing to play for, that alone should give a big edge to the Cardinals. And our level of interest in whether or not we win this game as fans is pretty darn low. I don't get the sense there are a lot of people out there who are super invested in whether or not we win this game. I think some Seahawks game fans even want us to lose this game so we can cost the Rams the division. So I know that there isn't a lot of compelling interest for Seahawks fans in seeing who wins this game. So our areas of interest will have to be found in the little things, right? Like individual players, individual matchups. How does this guy do? How does that guy do? Does that guy look like he could be something going into 2022? Does that guy look like he can be here in the long term? Does that guy look like he needs to be out of here this offseason? That's the real battle for the Seahawks right now, and it's depressing and sad that we're here right now with this season, but that's where we are. And personally, the main thing that I would like to see from this game tomorrow is a lot of players who we haven't really had a chance to watch yet this year. But if you know Pete Carroll and you know the way he looks at things, doesn't sound like we're going to get that. So the Seahawks offense, obviously Rashad Penny actually has to play a decent run defense this week. It's not a great run defense. They're missing Jordan Phillips, one of their defensive tackles. They've been missing J.J. Watt for a while, so it's not a great run defense, but it's better than the Bears and Lions and Texans. It's a competent run defense. If Penny can have another good game, then there's going to be a lot of positive energy behind him going into this offseason. Jake Curhan, want to continue to see how he grows. I think he's already earned the starting job, but he can solidify that if he has a decent game this week. I know he's going to be playing some Chandler Jones this time around, so I don't expect perfection. But if he can look like he belongs on the field with those guys, that's going to go a long way towards making us feel pretty good about this offseason at the right tackle spot without bringing back Shell. And I think that's probably the most interesting thing because the other offensive tackle I would like to see in this game, we're probably not going to get to see him because that's not how we do things around here. So unfortunately, barring injury, I expect Stone Forsythe to be left on the bench for this whole game because Carroll doesn't believe in playing young guys for the sake of playing young guys, whatever the hell that means and whatever stupid justification he has for that. But that's the reality that we live in, so unfortunately we're probably not going to get to see that. I'd like to see some Dwayne Eskridge, see him get a little more involved in this game plan. Obviously, this was a lost season for him for the most part, but whatever you can build up in experience to take into 2022 is a positive. And maybe if Phil Haynes gets on the field because Gabe Jackson's out, that's also something to watch. But as for the way this game goes, I I don't know. The Cardinals did a really good job confusing the hell out of Russell Wilson the last time we played. I was talking about this with the Hawks Nest in our stream. The Cardinals were very deceptive pre-snap on defense. So if you're looking for something a little more big picture in this game, then I would say it's probably that. If the Cardinals decide to do that again, if they decide to show a lot of things pre-snap that do not manifest post-snap, if they decide to be deceptive with a lot of their defensive calls, how does Wilson do in this game? Because last time, that was a game that for a lot of people really started to make us doubt about Wilson's future in the NFL. So if he can face that same kind of defensive deception in this game and hold it together and play well, that might go a decent way in convincing people of the other side. So those are the things I'm really looking for. Defensively, this Seahawks defense, I don't really know how to feel about this, but a couple weeks ago, they looked like they were poised to end up with a top 3 scoring defense. It was top 5, and we had 2 games left against terrible teams and a Cardinals team that was going to be missing some receivers, and we now know they're going to be missing some running backs. And they've let up a decent chunk of points in these last 2 games, and now they're barely top 10. If they get beat up in this game, and I believe that the Cardinals defense is a very bad matchup for this defense. I'm sorry, Cardinals offense is a bad matchup for this defense, then they're not even going to be top 10. And at that point, I don't really know what you hang your hat on. I know the defense was hung out to dry a lot this year by the crappy offense, but if they're not even top 10 at the end of the year, then what are you really singing the praises of at that point? So, to me, what I want to see from this game, obviously Sidney Jones, I think he's going to be playing. He's back off the COVID list. Want to see him continue to play well. That would be a positive, but I feel like I've seen enough good from Sidney Jones to where it's not the biggest deal in the world. So him, I can, it would be nice, but I think the big draw for me in this game is Cody Barton. He played well against the Lions, made some plays, did some positive things, but now, having had a week to prepare against a better offense, a competent offense, what have you got for us? What are you going to do in this spread attack? And I know Arizona is going to be down a couple receivers, but they're still going to be doing some of the same stuff they always do. No Hopkins, no Rondell Moore. They'll find a way to spread the ball out, spread the offense out, go 4 wide, 5 wide, and try to find a weakness on the defense and just pick it apart. So I want to see how Cody Barton plays. I don't know what we're doing at strong safety. It might end up being Nigel Warrior. That's what I would like to see. I kind of like Nigel. If we view him as a safety, this is a great opportunity to get him out there on the field. Maybe we could see something from a guy like, I don't even want to invoke his name, but LJ Collier should get some reps in this game because of all the people on the COVID list. If he could go out there and do something, then I'm not even going to say it. Screw it. I'm not even going to go there, but I'm just trying to find these little things to look out for with this defense. Overall, the big picture, I just want to see how we match up against this Cardinals spread attack. And that's really about it in terms of like individual player stuff and X's and O's. There's bigger things afoot for this Seahawks team than this game, right? I'll talk about it more a little bit later today, but this game feels pretty insignificant compared to the buzz that has been coming out of the VMAC lately. So I can only say so much about it. Yes, there is stuff to look out for. There is some stuff to be interested in. I'd like to see some of these young offensive linemen. I'd like to see Cody Barton. But at the end of the day, the team is bad. The team is a failure. This was a failed season for the Seahawks. And I'm happy to have this season over with, which it will be over with in about 32 hours. And we can start talking about the future. What are we going to do in 2022? And I will make another video about that later today, but it sounds like not a whole lot. And I think you guys already know how I feel about that, but we got to talk it through anyway. We got to figure out what kind of silver lining we can try to pull out of this. But I'll save that for the next video. So this game, look, I truly don't expect to win. This Arizona team needs it. We don't need it. We don't need to lose. It's not like we're tanking. It's not like we're trying to throw a game here, but Arizona's just got way more reason to be motivated than we do. I expect them to win pretty convincingly, not a blowout or anything. I think Wilson will play better than he did last time against Arizona, probably just because he's a little healthier, probably in a little bit better shape to play, a little less rusty, etc., etc., etc. So I do expect better, but I don't see it spelling a win against a Cardinals team that needs it. And as much as they are missing receivers and running backs, they've done a decent job of overcoming that already this year. They've won some games without their best guys. I mean, they've won games without their quarterback. So I got nothing else for this one, guys. I don't. I'm not feeling it. I will be happy to see this disaster of a season over with. And I am fully prepared to go into this offseason 6-11, trying to justify bringing it all back. But hey, conversation for another time. See you guys later. Peace out. Go Hawks. Almost over. Almost over.